And we're back
Hello everyone.
for the review of Glen More II plus the Highland Games expansion.
Yeah, it's more of a review of the Highlands game expansion than Glen More II, but links for that review in the description.
And today we played with 2 of the 4 modules that come with the expansion. One is called, Feasts and Follies, where it basically people are bidding to gain these virtual bonuses at the end of the round.
That one I actually liked.
Okay, so we can talk about it. And then we played with Sticks and Stones.
Yeah.
For being the best caber tosser and stone putter. And then we played with Plan and Prosper, which are these long-term or mid-term building monuments and bridges and stuff for extra stuff. And the 4th module is the Autonoma module, which allows you to play solo.
Yeah.
All right.
Arts and components. I like the art of Glen More in general, and I think everything that they added kind of fits together. They get a lot of extra points for this character, which I really like. First of all, the stories here are really cute. Really, really cute. And second of all, when was the last time you saw a buff, muscular woman on an anything? I'm all for that. I really, really like the representation, and generally like the art, like the iconography. One thing I do want to mention to the negative is that the
Double.
What was the expansion called?
Plan and Prosper.
Yeah, Plan and Prosper. Wow, that if you would have told me that's a Dominion expansion name, I would have been like, yeah, for sure. So Plan and Prosper really likes to hide information. And I'm not a fan of that. That's not how Glen More usually works, because you have the tile, and then you have the card next to the tile, and then you have this. And each one gives you a different piece of information.
Yeah.
Why? Put them all on the card. I don't need to look for places. This game is enough.
You're right.
Without that.
Right.
So that is...
There's no reason not to put it like literally here.
Yeah, absolutely none. Or, on top of the art here. I mean, the art is gorgeous, but let's cover it with some information. I don't know what these do without actually taking it and putting it to the side. So yeah, that's a gripe, but otherwise, love the art. Components are still great.
Yeah. I don't think that I have anything to say. I mean, the only thing that I can say about components is that as far as I know, the expansion doesn't fit into the base game, so we have to have both boxes, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, and I wish that everything could have been shoved into the Glen More box. But, other than that, it's pretty good. I like the fact that we don't get a huge board, and the tiles, I mean, from a production-wise, you cannot differentiate the fact that they're new. So everything looks great.
Yeah.
Gameplay, I guess?
So let's talk about the free mechanics separately in terms of gameplay. The Highland Games is, to me, adorable.
Okay.
It's not very heavy. It gives you a bit of resources, but nothing massive. And it's restrictive in that you have to think about it, but it rides on top of an already existing action. Like, I want this tile. Does this tile help me? Does this give me something I need? But I will not be planning all of it at the same time. So I like it. It adds a few elements without adding too much complexity. Very fun, very enjoyable. Like, I'd add that to people who are familiar with Glen More, with the base game, without thinking twice.
Yeah, I mean, I like Highland Games. Like you said, it doesn't intrude too much. And I guess with more than 2 players, where you don't necessarily almost always get at least one of these, it's nice. And the only thing that I wonder is why just wheat to VP? It seems very random that it's specifically wheat, but maybe wheat is powerful in other ways, or
If
I don't
you
know.
don't get whiskey tiles,
Mm-hmm.
which we did not get early on,
Mm-hmm.
wheat is useless.
Okay.
So if you're going for a different strategy, or if someone else has already
Yeah.
monopolized most of the wheat tiles, I think that's why.
Yeah. And I like the fact that, it's totally up to you where to put these, and you can have even two of the same icon so that you can really rush one. So that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Plan and Prosper?
Yeah, but you start. You started previous time.
So it definitely adds a little bit more of an upkeep, because you have to remember to take all of the things like you said, and you have to remember to put a resource down if you want to, and you do need to plan so that you hopefully can, first of all, can place it, right? You do need something to place it on, and then to take use of the bonus. I wonder if the upgrades themselves are that interesting. I'm not sure.
I think that the double ones are okay because you get a lot more activation and you get 2 tiles. But when you go 1 for 1, they're not that good. I mean, look at these. They're 1 VP apart. Yes, you get this one at an earlier round, so you get a chance to activate it more. But
You do,
it's not that big of a
right,
deal.
but you do overbuild, which means that you can build around, then plunk it down, then you get to activate 9 tiles.
And then again, it doesn't count as an overbuild, so it's also a bit weird like that.
Yeah. So it's definitely complex. I'm not sure that it gives back in terms of enjoyment, but maybe we need to play it more. I don't know. But it definitely adds, more sort of components that feel maybe just a bit clunky.
For me, it's a bit much, but it works best in 2 players. When you're in a high number of players, the rondel just spins too quickly to plan accordingly. And I would not play it with that expansion with prospects and prosperity.
Sure. Plan and
protrude expansion, yes.
Plan and prosper.
I would not play it in 4 or 5 players. I think that 2 or 3 is a good number for it. It's a bit clunky for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan, but I can see how specific people who really, really like to plan out their village will enjoy it.
Okay. And the last thing that we can talk about is the module that we haven't played here with, which is I forget. Friends and Foes? Feasts and Follies. Alright, so in Feasts and Follies, you basically have 5 cards which cost you resources but give you virtual bonuses in the competitions, just like
and
these.
Only in the competitions. They do not give you anything beyond.
Yeah.
And you can't use the market, so you need to have the resources.
Right, because you're paying at the end of the round, and simultaneously as well. And it has a nice little bidding mechanic where you
have 5 tokens, you take out 3, and you put them in priority of which gets opened first. So if I bid on 1 and Idan bids on 1, we both put our token on 1. But if in the first round Idan bid on 1 and I bid on 1 on the second round, I can't put my token there because
it's already taken.
Because it's already taken.
Right. Okay. So what do you think about it?
I really like it.
Why?
It's my favorite one of the 3 because it does feel meaty and it changes a bit of the game flow, but in a positive way. So the regular game flow is either you get to build an engine or you get a lot of resources. And then you have to build your engine later, which is what I did. I was swimming in resources till I got 2 or 3 market tiles and just spammed them. That's conventional Glen More. But that expansion, first of all, changes the VP of the competitions, raising it up to 12, I think.
Yeah. And the more you have of something, the more victory points compared to this. Yes.
Yeah, and it lets you dump resources. It lets you dump resources in a very fun way, in my opinion. You can when it's a higher player count, you're usually racing for the VP tiles, for the market tiles.
Mm-hmm.
And with this one, you can just focus on getting resources and knowing that you'll be able to use them for something that will give you VP in the competitions. I really like it. It's very random.
Why is it random?
Well,
because of the cards?
Because of the cards.
But you do see them at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they're good for you or they're good for your resources.
That's true. You can plan around them.
Kinda, yeah.
You have a whole round, fourth of the game.
In a high player count, that's not a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I like it. I really, really like it. I think it gives you a fun little puzzle that you can put aside for half a round and then focus on in the other half, and highly recommend it. I'm shocked that we didn't play with it. Like somewhere, I was sure it's from a different expansion.
Okay.
So, oops.
Yeah. So I think it's the least favorite of mine and of this expansion. And I think it's because I don't like getting a feel for where will I stand in the specific competition is something that I can do because I just, this is a lot, this is not a lot. I don't really need to count. But with that, I need to sort of think of, do I have enough resources? I need to remember to have resources for them. And I feel like I cannot really make any strategic decisions around the competitions during the round because I don't know what people will bid on and whether they will have the resources and so on. So it sort of adds another abstraction layer, which increases, I don't want to say randomness, but it decreases the
control.
Public knowledge that I can react to, which I guess, I don't like AP sensitive games in the fact that everything is public information, and so that you could get into an AP situation. But specifically here, I prefer that all of the information is open because then my decisions are just a little bit more easy to do. And with that, it just adds, you bid that before me and you have the resources. Okay, you took it.
I think
and the stakes are higher, definitely, because these numbers are higher.
First of all, I agree with you fully, but I do think it's a problem in a lower player count, and it's not a problem for me in a higher player count. When you play Glen More with 4, or I don't think we've ever played it with 5.
Because it doesn't scale up to 5.
Base Glen More scales up to 5.
Right? This one doesn't.
Oh. Well,
okay.
Oops. So when we played it with 4, I didn't have a problem with that because people pretty much went for different things, and I could check the minimum, and the minimum is the only one that matters. True. And the minimum is fairly easy to guess.
That's true.
You'll have one with 1 whiskey, one with 0 whiskey. You look at their resources, and you're like, okay, this is worthwhile. I'm gonna bet on this.
Yeah.
In a lower player count, the competitions are usually very tight, very close. Like only at the end of the game that I actually beat you at a competition. So I agree with you. It's less enjoyable in a low player count, but I think it's phenomenal at 4, and I really enjoy it.
All right. So any final thoughts about Glen More? Let's say, somebody has Glen More, the base game, and is not a fanatic like us that have to have everything, even though we played the modules only once. Would you recommend the expansion?
We videoed a lot of the modules.
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
Nope. Not a single one. Check
we
the
have
videos.
A video of, okay.
No, just base game.
Okay. So, if you have the base game and you enjoy it, this is a really fun addition, but it is in no way a must. Like the Glen More II has so many Chronicles that change how they interact with each other that there's no need for this unless you really love the game and you want to have a couple of meteor modules, because these definitely change the game much more
That's
than
true.
the Haggis or the other modules in the base game. These are much meatier, they have more heft to them. It feels slightly different, so they do their job well, highly recommended, but only if you've played a lot of base Glen More and feel the need to, and have that itch.
Yeah.
Otherwise...
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, I agree with everything you said. On the other hand, I feel like everybody who owns Glen More II
should.
Has to have this one because his... A, Glen More is a really good game, and B,
yes.
You know, why not? It's just more stuff. On the, you know, going back to the first hand, we haven't played the modules of the first expansion more than once. So what do we know? It's but it's a
what do you mean? What do we know? We are
by
professional
the way,
reviewers.
You're right. By the way, and again, it's worth mentioning that if you want to try for some reason we haven't Glen More solo, you could do that with the expansion. With the Highlands.
Yeah, if
Highland
you're
Games.
A solo player, that's a very worthwhile
And by the
purchase.
way, the solo player can play with most of the expansions.
Oh.
Yeah.
That probably took a lot of work.
Yeah, it did, probably. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed this review. Links down below for the first round and the extended playthrough, as well as Glen More II base game videos and Glen More I base game videos. And if you want us to play any specific combinations of modules from the base game or from this expansion, do let us know in the comments below, and we'll do just that. We're looking for excuses to shoot videos.
And if you want us to do a video of the Follies and Feasts expansion, then shoot us a comment and we'll do that. One comment's enough.
I'm not sure you...
Where am I going with this? I'm not going with this anywhere, but I do want to apologize for saying that maybe you shouldn't buy every expansion. You should buy everything.
I'm not sure where this one goes either.
It goes to the outro.
All right. Bye. See you next time.